With coverage you can count on. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11 in HD.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Cameron Taylor. Thank you for joining us tonight. We start with a developing story. 2 teenagers are in custody after leading several law enforcement agencies on a high-speed chase across East Tennessee. A Sevierville Police Department spokesman tells us 2 boys who were staying at the Smoky Mountain Children's Home stole one of the home's 15-passenger vans. The 14 and 17-year-old were later spotted going south on I-75 into Bradley County and then into Hamilton County. Now, sheriff's deputies followed the van onto Highway 153 near Amnicola, where it later crashed into another car. No one was hurt. And a Chattanooga police officer on his way to help stop the van involved in the high-speed chase crashed at Wilder Street and Dodson Avenue. Officials on scene tell our crew the officer was on Wilder when he collided with the car on Dodson. The officer and the 2 people in the car were taken to the hospital to be checked out, but everyone is expected to be okay. Well, new details to share with you tonight. Chattanooga police arrested a man in connection to this morning's deadly shooting. Now officers are looking for a second suspect following the death of a teen. 19-year-old Zachary Chadwick faces criminal homicide and especially aggravated robbery charges. Officers are searching for another man, 20-year-old Jacob Coyne. He's wanted for the same charges. Now around 12:30 this morning, police say 19-year-old Jalen Little was shot inside a home on Oak Tree Drive. When officers arrived, they found Little with multiple gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. If you know where Jacob Coyne is or have any information, call Chattanooga police. Well, one person was hurt in a house fire today in Whitfield County. It happened at a home on Hill Road in Dalton. Dispatchers tell us the injured person was taken to the hospital, and the extent of their injuries is unclear at this time. We'll update this story as more information becomes available. Pigeon Forge Police Department is looking for two missing 16-year-old girls who were last seen Thursday morning. Cassie Fitch is 5'2" and has brown hair and brown eyes. She was last seen wearing a pink and purple sweatshirt, glasses, blue jeans, and black shoes. You see her right there. Kirsten Dotson is 5'4" and has blonde hair and blue eyes. You see her there. She was last seen wearing a black shirt with white writing, blue jeans, and black Converse shoes. Both girls were last seen leaving Pigeon Forge High School around 8 in the morning. If you have any information, call the Pigeon Forge Police Department. Tennessee's Board of Funeral Directors and Embalmers is warning residents about an out-of-state funeral directing business's website that makes it seem as if the company is licensed here in Tennessee. Now, the board's executive director says they have received a lot of complaints about an online business whose website gives numerous names, including Heritage Cremation Provider, Legacy Funeral Services, and Legacy Funeral and Cremation Services, all operated by Anthony Joseph Damiano. Now, the business primarily uses the following website: Heritage Cremation Provider and Legacy Cremation Services. None of these entities nor the operator are licensed with Tennessee's Board of Funeral Directors and Embalmers as required by state law. Well, if you're looking for employment, a job fair will be held in Dalton tomorrow. The Georgia Department of Labor will help Randstad recruit at least 14 employees to work in Dalton. Now, it'll run from 9 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon at the Career Center on Chattanooga Avenue. Applicants must be at least 18 years old, and we have more information and a list of the positions available on our website, wrcbtv.com. Well, here's an interesting story. A speeding car skids off the road and ends up on the roof of a house. This happened in China. Now take a look at this SUV as it loses control and then skids right onto a roof right there. He accidentally stepped on the gas instead of the brake. That's what the driver told authorities. The homeowner was inside the house at the time but wasn't hurt. He says he was startled by a loud noise and then saw the car on his roof. Police had to help the driver out with a ladder. He was also not hurt. Authorities had to use a crane to lift the car off the roof. Well, spring is about a week away, but the weather has reminded us that it's still winter. Some regions of the country are dealing with snow and cold, while other regions brace for what could be the last blizzard of the season. Here's NBC's Dan Shinneman.
Winter still packs a punch. Almost 100 million Americans are now under winter weather watches or warnings. People in the Carolinas woke up Sunday morning to find their neighborhoods covered in a layer of snow.
Oh my God, it's actually snowing, like it's real snow. It's sticking to the ground.
In Minnesota, a soccer match was played in what looked like whiteout conditions, while North Dakota prepares for bitter cold temperatures, which could feel like 9 below. Winter weather advisories are in place from the Dakotas into northwest Ohio, while New York and Boston are preparing for possible blizzards. The nation's capital is under a winter storm warning, and residents there made one final trip to the grocery store.
Panic, we're right in the middle of it, 20-minute wait, but everyone's in good humor, and we'll see. Probably no snow now that we've waited so long.
Winter is not done yet. Dan Shinneman, NBC News.
All right, back here in the Tennessee Valley, we certainly haven't seen anything quite like that. Storm Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Bear standing by with what we can expect for the work week. Paul.
Well, we've been watching that system that's going to affect the Northeast. It's going to be a historic storm for those folks. It really looks bad. A good 1 to 2 feet of snow in many places coming up for the next 72 hours or so. But it's going to be cold tonight across the Tennessee Valley. Then we're going to see some showers for tomorrow, and then cold air again on Tuesday with some flurries on occasion. I don't think we'll see any accumulation around here. Some of the mountains, though, especially the Cumberland Plateau and up into the Blue Ridge, may see a little bit. Here's some snow that's heading towards the Chicago area, and they may see 4, 5, 6 inches of snow up there. That's part of a system that'll be heading off towards the north and east, and another wave is going to form in the Gulf of Mexico, move off to the north, and they're going to sort of merge right across the New York area, and they're going to affect Philadelphia, D.C., Boston, all of New England pretty much. It's going to be a big, big mess. Here are the showers out over the Springfield, Missouri area that's going to be heading our way for tomorrow, so we will see some rain, especially in the afternoon and evening. Now, winds are calm. It's cold. It's 41. It's 39 in Cleveland. It's 37 in Dalton and 34 already in Athens, with Murphy at 32 and Fort Payne at 36. Our high today was 55. 33 the overnight low. That's a little below normal, and we just had about a 1/20th of an inch of water out of this and just a trace of snow reported at the airport. Now, some of the sky watchers told me about a 1/2 inch of snow in Dalton, only a 1/10 though in Jasper, with a 1/2 inch also in Fort Mountain. With Blue Ridge, 1.2 inches of snow. They had about 1.5 inches up on Signal Mountain last night, 1.8, almost 2 inches up on Lookout Mountain, a 1/2 inch Mowbray Mountain, with about 8/10 in Red Bank. Right here at Channel 3, we had about a 1/2 inch also in Ottawa and Ringgold. Cleveland only had about a 1/10. With 5/10 into Pikeville, Colmont had about 1.5 inches, Cagle Mountain about 1 inch, Jasper had about 1 inch, and into the Blue Ridge from Turtletown to Murphy, about 2 inches of snow fell. Other places just trace amounts. Latest Vipercast, 7 o'clock in the morning, sunshine, but that's going to be changing as the clouds increase rapidly into the afternoon. Now, this is pretty much light rain. It could be maybe a little bit of moderate rain, but that should be east of the city. By 10 o'clock tomorrow night, again, some scattered showers, and they will continue right into Tuesday morning. Around 10 o'clock, that rain will change over, those sprinkles will change over to snow flurries, or what we call snow showers. The heaviest stuff will be north of Murphy. See that blue right there, right along the spine of the Appalachians. They could see some pretty good amounts there, maybe up to 5, 6 inches in places. Then the cold air continues to tumble on down right through Wednesday. It'll still be breezy on Wednesday, but it should be dry. Now we're thinking tomorrow, with that rain moving in, maybe 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch, so not that much rain, and our drought continues. Now a little bit of snow, maybe up to 1/4 of an inch at some of the higher elevations out into the Cumberland Plateau. The best chance is going to be in the Blue Ridge, where you see that blue and purple up there. And maybe out near Fort Mountain, they may get 1/10 to maybe 2/10 of an inch snow. But generally, most of us are just going to see flurries. Tomorrow, Turtletown's going to see showers, and you're only going to hit 42 in Turtletown, and Flintstone about 44 with those scattered showers. So the forecast for tonight has low temperatures dropping to 32 in the city. Away from the city, though, it's going to be in the 20s, so there'll be a pretty good freeze with those light winds. Tomorrow, only 46 as the clouds increase. The showers will develop with southeasterly winds, so it will be a cold rain when it's falling. Tomorrow night, 37, rain likely, so another cold rain coming up, but it's going to be light. And then on Tuesday, some flurries, and only 49, so most of it melts, if not all of it. And then on Wednesday, it'll be breezy still with 43 and a low of 26, so another hard freeze. Coming up into Thursday, 24 for that low and 51 with lots of sunshine, but that means another hard freeze. So I tell you, if you put anything out there, if it survives, it'll be a miracle. 57 on Friday, and some scattered showers coming up next Saturday, with 60 and 60 again coming up next Sunday.
Well, cold weather certainly sticking around.
That's right. You know, it's old man winter isn't through yet. There's a beautiful full moon out there tonight, too. It's called the worm moon.
Oh, wow.
And the reason they call it the worm moon is because this is the time of year when it usually starts to warm up and the worms start coming out for farmers. Usually it's farmers that make these things up.
Yeah, sure. It'll be
I think
nice,
it's a farmers
nice view.
union. I'm not sure.
All right, thanks, Paul. Well, up next here on Eyewitness News at 11, security video inside a Florida Home Depot shows a man dressed in women's clothing shove an employee out of the way to use the store's computer system to activate the gift cards he's stealing. Detectives believe it's part of an organized crime ring.
This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11 in HD.
Mike Pence spent the weekend pushing the White House and Republicans.
With coverage you can count on, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11 in HD.
Welcome back. Senate Republicans and Democrats are pushing back on the proposed new health care plan that would replace Obamacare. Meanwhile, a congressional committee has asked the Justice Department to come forward tomorrow with evidence of whether or not President Obama ordered a wiretap on President Trump. Here's NBC's Jennifer Johnson, who reports from Washington.
Vice President Mike Pence spent the weekend pushing the White House and Republicans' new health care plan.
The Obamacare nightmare is about to end.
While Democrats and the GOP squabble over the bill, several Republican senators say the House plan is dead on arrival.
This bill in the House of Representatives cannot pass the Senate, and I believe it would have adverse consequences for millions of Americans.
Some studies show the plan would leave up to 15 million Americans without health coverage.
I don't understand this almost. I don't understand what their political strategy, because this is bad politics, but deeper than that is bad policy and bad process.
Democrats say they're willing to work on a better bill, but some doubt the two sides can get anything done.
I believe the political parties are disintegrating before our very eyes. And the Republicans, you need to invite Democrats in because we're talking about lives.
As President Trump remains in Washington this weekend, the House Intelligence Committee has given the Justice Department a Monday deadline to show evidence of his claim that President Obama wiretapped Trump Tower during the presidential campaign.
There are one of two possibilities here. Either the president quite deliberately, for some reason, made up this charge, or perhaps more disturbing, the president really believes this.
The Justice Department has indicated it will not meet Monday's deadline. Jennifer Johnson, NBC News, Washington.
Now, the House Intelligence Committee plans an open hearing for March 20th to investigate the president's allegations, questioning, among others, the director of the FBI. President Donald Trump will be making a stop in Nashville for his second campaign rally since he took office. Now, last month he was in Florida. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer has said the president intends on hitting the road to talk about the Republican health care plan you just heard about. Now, it's unclear if that will come up at this rally. The president is scheduled to be at the Municipal Auditorium on Wednesday. The event starts at 6:30 Central Time. Doors open at 3:30. Senators Corker and Alexander are also expected to be there. You can register online for tickets, and they are on a first-come, first-served basis. We have all those details on our website, WRCBTV.com. Well, investigators in Florida say a bold cross-dressing thief caught on camera is part of an organized crime ring. The thief was caught on camera inside a Pasco County Home Depot store last week. And keep your eye on the person in the dress. If we can pull up this video here, the suspect grabs gift cards, shoves a Home Depot employee out of the way, you see right there, and then proceeds to activate the gift cards using the store computer system. Now, a customer even comes over to help the employee when he sees her being shoved, and that man is shoved out of the way as the robber leaves. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office believes this same theft ring has hit Home Depot stores throughout Central Florida. The men's NCAA tournament brackets are set, and 5 SEC schools made it inside the bubble. Jill Jenick has the latest next in sports. Plus, soccer and snow don't normally work well together, but today it gave Atlanta's new soccer team its first ever win. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
In less than 24 hours, the Lady Mocs basketball team will find out their postseason fate. UTC received the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament last weekend when they won the SoCon tournament title. And even though the Lady Mocs have been to the big dance plenty of times before, they are hoping this is the year to make it past the first round. 5 straight SoCon tournament titles and 18 total tournament championships in school history. The Lady Mocs continued their legacy last weekend with their come-from-behind win over Mercer, and now UTC is headed to the big dance for the 15th time. There's no question that their difficult preseason schedule, facing 5 ranked teams, prepared them for the SoCon championship as well as what's next.
Do you think you could have won that game if you hadn't played the schedule that you played?
No. No. I think we became tougher.
With the season we had, we learned how to fight. We learned when to come together more. And like Quinn always said, that's what we made for. We always made to come back and fight and to win.
It's been 12 years since UTC claimed an NCAA tournament victory. The first and only time was back in 2004 when the 10th-seeded Lady Mocs upset 7th-seeded Rutgers in the Scenic City. Now, 8 tournament trips later, the Lady Mocs are ready to end the drought.
Are you guys ready for tournament play?
Definitely. I think we haven't got past the first round, so I think this is going to be our year to make some noise.
The women's selection show will begin at 7 p.m. tomorrow night on ESPN. Sports director Paul Shaheen will be live with the Lady Mocs ahead of the show and will have us covered. Well, speaking of March Madness, today was Selection Sunday for the men's NCAA tournament, and that means you can start betting away your money. I mean, filling out your brackets. Here's a quick rundown of the top dogs in the tourney this year. The overall #1 seed in the tournament is the defending champions Villanova. No surprises there. The Wildcats are the #1 seed in the East region. Meanwhile, in the Midwest region, the Kansas Jayhawks clinched the #1 seed for the 2nd straight year. That leaves North Carolina as the 3rd #1 in the South region. This came as a bit of a surprise after the Tar Heels lost to Duke in the tournament, but UNC did win the ACC regular season title. And lastly, Gonzaga got that 4th #1 seed after finishing 32-1 in the regular season. Now, what you're looking at right now is the 5 SEC schools that made it inside the bubble this year. Kentucky, the SEC tournament winner, is a #2 seed, and the Wildcats will have an rivalry against Northern Kentucky in the opening round. South Carolina, a 7 seed, will face Marquette. Arkansas grabbed the 8 seed and will play Seton Hall. Vandy also made it in. The Commodores are at 9 seed and will face Northwestern, while Florida is a 4 seed and will be playing the Southern Conference champions ETSU. Remember, East Tennessee State clinched that automatic bid after winning the men's SoCon tournament over UNCG. You can see their reaction of their pairings there. You can tell they're just a little excited. The Bucks are a 13 seed, the Gators a 4 seed. That game will take place in Orlando this Thursday. Temperatures and tempers were both high today at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It was the running of the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series Cobalt 400. Let's skip ahead to the end of the race. Martin Truex Jr. is leading in the final lap, but back in the pack, Joey Logano and Kyle Rowdy Busch are battling for position. Logano gets loose, slides into Rowdy, and the 18 goes for a spin down pit road. Truex Jr. takes first as Logano holds on to edge Brad Keselowski for the 4th place finish. But look at this, after the race is over, Kyle Busch goes after Joey Logano. But right away, Busch gets tackled by Logano's crew. Eventually, Busch would be pulled away by security with a bloodied forehead. The two have been known to tangle before in the past, and no doubt you can expect more fireworks from them to come. Atlanta's new Major League Soccer team, Atlanta United FC, recorded its first ever win today. And yes, you are looking at the right video. It was snow and single-digit temperatures for their game against Minnesota United in Minneapolis. At some points, the snow piled up enough that play had to be stopped so the grounds crew could blow the snow off the lines of the field. But the cold didn't end up bothering Atlanta as they went on to dominate Minnesota 6-1 that final. All right, that's it for sports. One last look at your weather when we come back.
Your planner is going to be cool. The temperature is only getting into the 40s for tomorrow, starting off with sunshine, and then the clouds roll in fast. By afternoon, we'll see some showers, and that will continue into tomorrow night. So the high, only 46, only 49 on Tuesday, and we're going to see flurries especially in the higher elevations where there could be some minor accumulation. It will be breezy too also on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then some showers by next Saturday.
Well, that's unfortunate. Today was actually a pretty nice day after
Wasn't
yesterday.
too bad. It wasn't too
and then
bad.
tomorrow with the rain and
it won't be as pretty.
Won't be as nice.
No,
All
we
right.
won't be happy.
All right,
Okay.
thanks, Paul. Well, here's an interesting story. Cat lovers gathered yesterday at the International Cat Exhibition held in St. Petersburg, Russia. A variety of precious breeds, including Russian Blue, Scottish Fold, British Shorthair, and Cornish Rex were on display at the exhibition venue. If anyone's a cat expert, those are the breeds right there. Among the cats, the most expensive one was priced at almost $24,000. Wow, that's a lot of money. According to domestic media, Russia is among countries with the highest proportion of raising cats, with more than 1/3 of Russian households owning at least one cat. In Russia, people need to register for buying a cat, as cats have their own passports and medical records. Cats which hold passports and have vaccinations on time are permitted to take public transportation with their masters. Pretty interesting. Pretty much a citizen right there. And get this, 50 golf enthusiasts took part in an ice golf tournament played on a frozen lake in Siberia.
I like this. This is cool.
The game was played over a 1-mile-long course on ice, which is almost 24 inches thick this year. The winners of the 2-day tournament were announced today, and standard golf rules were applied with the exception of the color of the ball.
So you can find it.
So you can see it. So
that
they're all red.
might be important to be able to find your ball.
Yeah, to play the game, right? Okay.
Go in the ice and drop into the water and it'll be gone.
Have a good night.
Sure like the
At 7 p.m. tonight, the Lady Mocs basketball team will find out their postseason fate. UTC received the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament last weekend when they won the SoCon tournament title. And even though the Lady Mocs have been to the big dance plenty of times before, they are hoping this is the year to make it past the first round. 5 straight SoCon tournament titles and 18 total tournament championships in school history. The Lady Mocs continued their legacy last weekend with their come-from-behind win over Mercer, and now UTC is headed to the big dance for the 15th time. There's no question that their difficult preseason schedule, facing 5 ranked teams, prepared them for the SoCon championship as well as what's next.
Do you think you could have won that game if you hadn't played the schedule you played?
No. No. I think we became tougher.
With the season we had, we learned how to fight. We learned when to come together more. And like Quinn always said, that's what we made for. We always made to come back and fight and to win.
It's been 12 years since UTC claimed an NCAA tournament victory. The first and only time was back in 2004 when the 10th seeded Lady Mocs upset 7th seeded Rutgers in the Scenic City. Now, 8 tournament trips later, the Lady Mocs are ready to end the drought.
Are you guys ready for tournament play?
Definitely. I think we haven't got past the first round, so I think this is going to be our year to make some noise.
The selection show will air again at 7 p.m. tonight on ESPN. Sports director Paul Shaheen will be live with the Lady Mocs ahead of the show and will have us covered. Well, speaking of March Madness, yesterday was Selection Sunday for the men's NCAA tournament, and that means you can start betting away your money. I mean, filling out your brackets. Here's a quick rundown of the top dogs in the tourney this year. The overall #1 seed in the tournament is the defending champions Villanova. No surprises there. The Wildcats are the #1 seed in the East region. Meanwhile, in the Midwest region, the Kansas Jayhawks clinched the #1 seed for the 2nd straight year. And that leaves North Carolina as the 3rd #1 seed in the South region. This came as a bit of a surprise after the Tar Heels lost to Duke in the tourney, but UNC did win the ACC regular season title. And lastly, over in the West, Gonzaga grabs the last #1 seed after finishing 32-1 in the regular season. Now, as far as the SEC goes, 5 schools made it inside the bubble this year. Kentucky, the SEC tournament winner, is a #2 seed. The Wildcats will have an interstate rivalry against Northern Kentucky in the opening round. South Carolina, a 7 seed, will face Marquette. Arkansas grabbed the 8 seed and will play Seton Hall. Vandy also made it in, and the Commodores are a 9 seed and will face Northwestern. While Florida is a #4 seed and they'll be playing the Southern Conference champions ETSU. Remember, East Tennessee State clinched that automatic bid after winning the men's SoCon tournament over UNCG. You can see the reaction of their pairing right here, just a little bit excited. The Bucks are the 13 seed, the Gators a 4 seed. That game will take place in Orlando this Thursday. All right, that's it for sports. I'm Jill Jelnick. I hope you have a marvelous Monday.